Back to the show. It is almost time for Overpass here. And producer Reese informed us, Dan, that in Malmo, Dignitas beat, was it 16-2?
It's 16-2. So what happened is Dignitas got their T side, they got the pistol round, and then they just continued to smash NiP basically. And then when it got to the second side, NiP managed to pull 3 CT rounds together on the first half. But then on the second half, it was a pistol round victory for Dignitas again, and giving them a clean 3-0 on the second side for the 16-2. Oh, sorry, NiP got 2 rounds on the CT side. Yeah, for the 2 rounds that they got. So generally speaking, wasn't a great performance from NiP. I didn't see this exact best of one because it was in the groups of Malmo. I didn't see the exact best of one, so I can't tell you exactly where NiP were failing, if it's like a performance failure or if it was a particular type of round or a couple rounds that Dignitas were able to perform particularly well in. So we will see now, because NiP is the type of team, Threat's the kind of coach that will be reviewing stuff heavily to make sure that things like this can't happen again to the team. And we know already that NiP, they like Overpass. It's a map that they can feasibly focus on and feasibly want to play in the future as well. So it's not just going to be one of those that's left out in the cold in the veto process. It is a map that they want to be able to play very strongly, and they have been focusing on it. So I would expect a strong adjustment.
Yeah, I do wonder if there will be a team who leaves anything out in the veto process in a few months, the way things are going.
Oh yeah, they used to be, Nuke used to be their strongest map, and Inferno is actually one of their weakest maps right now, or their weaker maps.
Oh, the Mandem down, they're coming up towards the toilets, and the toilets will be secured by the Mandem for a second, but the police are coming back there, and MSL with a frag onto Freiburg. You can see Get Right perhaps looking to... Ooh, opening the door a little bit too early there. Conveyor belts running into people's faces at the moment, Dan. Conveyor belts of bullets. Although Kiabi's stuck now towards the party area. He will not want to be launched into the balloons. In the meantime, Config's got a 2-man. So it is Forrest alone now. The bomb is with the final CT. He has a decision to make. Does he stay with the bomb or help his teammate? The bomb is down. Still a minute over the clock, on the clock though, for Forrest to try and clutch this.
I mean, to see whether he can do that, and that would, if he's able to, it would already be an improvement. Config was one of the players that went really massive in the last match. I think he had like a rating of over 2 point. It was 2 point something, like 24 kills and something like that in the 18 rounds that were played. So he had a very good best of 1 at Malmo, and now Config is trying to make this a very good pistol round here. He's already has those 2 frags. He stopped the B push. Now it's just against Forrest that he has to deal with. Forrest has picked up a USP, and he's going to find the shot straight to the face, and that will be NiP already basically doing better than they did in 1 round, James, than in the entire last best of 1 that they played on this map.
He was born with a pistol, Dan. Forrest was born with a pistol.
Forrest is just godlike at all things, James. He actually is. Not even just Counter-Strike. When it comes to just any game, anything, he's just, for some reason, incredibly talented at everything. It's ridiculous.
Deagle's coming out for the CT side. Config and Kiabi have opted for Kevlar. 4 Deags, Dan. 4. That's 1 more than 3. Indeed, it's 4. Oh, the timing! Unreal! Kiabi just looks away just as Get Right comes into view. Kiabi's going to get the frag though, as is Tensky. The bomb's going down, so now the pressure, the onus will be with the CT side, but they have a little bit of time here to try and get some more frags. Rubino is going to get a frag surely here. Exist looking just in time, so things calming down a little bit. MSL's got a Mac 10 though, and a Molotov. It's such an awkward map to try and hold all the angles. So far, so good for what remains of NiP. Got to be careful from short though. Forrest is positioned well.
Yeah, I think it's looking pretty okay after a very scary start. We've seen many CT sides make force buys work on this map, and you can see why. There's so many angles, as James pointed out, on both bomb sites. It can be quite tricky, and you can see actually also from NiP side of things, they invested in a couple of UMPs to make sure they could have grenades, because they knew that they would absolutely need a healthy amount of grenades to be able to take the bomb sites. And now it's going to be that 2-0 start. NiP against another eco. However, Dignitas didn't get any Kevlar in the last round. I don't think. And you can see that on their money as well. Their money's quite good. And they won't even really invest too much in this round either. Maybe a combined amount of 1,500 or something, or like 2K probably or something like that, minus the Kevlar. So We're going to see Dignitas trying to see what they can get done with very little, which is a skill of itself. Astralis are quite good at that in these situations. And we will see NiP versus Astralis in the next best of 3, which is fantastic. But NiP just going for the classic anti-eco towards long. And look at Dignitas. They're all in the connector area and the stairs area, James, all 4 players.
Well, how are NiP going to survive this? They should. Looking at all the utility config though. He's had enough, Dan. He's had enough. And he's not been able to do anything about it, unfortunately for him. Although one can't expect much on this eco from the Danes. So anything they get will be fantastic. Kirby having to respect the smoke, Dan. He has to respect it in this situation. Sometimes smoke can be respected too much. But on this occasion, they are on the eco, and there's only so much one can do.
Say so much respect that one can have.
I suppose so as well, yeah. I mean, Kirby, like, he could save his Kevlar in this position. And it looks like... I was going to say he might do that, but it seems not. Or is he? He's by a tree. This is actually a nice idea as well. He's essentially saving, and if somebody comes his way, then maybe he can steal something useful. On this occasion, it is a UMP. But if he gets a kill onto exist, then he can use that, for example, to try and kill more players coming his way. Not going to work out.
It will not. And there is the 3-0. NiP have already done better than their last best of 1 against Dignitas on this map, on LAN, at DreamHack Malmo.
Congratulations, NiP. That's a victory in itself. And
for those of you that are unaware, actually, of which there may be some, NiP did actually end up winning that really huge event. They managed to, they ended up running through Virtus Pro, Astralis, and Na'Vi to win that event. So, in best of 3s, which is kind of ridiculous. And here we go, quick pick coming in from Freiburg in connector. So already, Dignitas pressure has been applied, and it's only going to get worse from here on out. Tensky wanted to try to get an info play there into Suez, but Get Right was in a forward position, unexpected by Tensky, and now the round looks to be well and truly out of the hands of the CTs. And to be honest, they may even be thinking of ways to potentially save in this situation should the next player to make contact not get anything done, which it does seem like it's going to be the B players here. So Dignitas actually kind of gambling correctly. And interestingly, usually CTs will put 2 players towards A here because it's easier to retake B than A. And that's perhaps why NiP are going towards B, because they're probably only expecting 1 player to be there. But there are 2 James. And there's a frag from Config, but it's immediately traded. And there is the 2nd player. They might be surprised about that. And that's indeed going to be Kirby. And if he can delay enough time, maybe get an extra kill, and indeed 1 frag will come in. He's buying time here for MSL to come in as well, but maybe not enough time. Here is MSL though. Bomb has yet to be planted. And there it is. In fact, it was enough time for MSL. MSL with the frag, and 30 seconds left here to be worked on, but it's going to be Exist. Oh, wow. Exist gets the kill. But just afterwards, fragged by the grenade. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, that's a hero grenade. Everyone dies.
That's nuts, isn't it? That's so close.
That's pretty cool. Well, Dignitas got to be on the eco. This is a familiar story for them, going off the previous map. So NiP with a great opportunity to have a very strong T half. 4 rounds on the board for them. I'm sure they'll be happy with their start, but they need much more in order to take this from the Dignitas side, who are yet to get around on the board. So just an eco. Again, they'll be soon to be dispatched of. He got close with the CZ, but that's all she wrote for him. So next to no damage done by Dignitas so far in this round. I want to say, like, earlier on in the story of... Nice one, Dig there. In the story of Overpass, we saw on the eco rounds more just general camping on the sites themselves, which proved difficult for the pushing Ts. Obviously, people have a better understanding of the map now. But I do think there's still value in just concentrating as much fire as possible on the site, specifically on Overpass when you're on the eco round. Because it could be isolated so well. There are some other places, if you can hold them as a team, that can be tricky, but I think there's a lot of value still in the sites themselves for the eco. So just the 1 dig onto Pit so far for Dignitas in this round, and Tensky's got 20 HP, just holding an angle, doing what he can, basically, trying to catch somebody off guard, trying to be in that one corner that you don't check.
Yeah, and maybe he will get something done. Maybe he'll get lucky in a quick frag. There's lots of corners to play from on this map, to play aggressively with. I think that one of the reasons why I don't see the stack as much against a team like NiP is perhaps because they're just afraid of the brutality that is Molotovs. The Molotov rain, James. Molotovs all up in your business. And that's 5 rounds that will be claimed by NiP. So they are doing pretty well so far, business as usual. But again, you know, they are an explosive T side, as is Dignitas. So Dignitas likely only need to really get, you know, feasibly something around the region of 5 rounds to really feel okay. I think both teams will probably be expecting between, you know, something anywhere between, you know, 7 to 10 rounds on their T side. I think that's what their expectation is due to their strength of the T side as opposed to how the CT side works, which is quite funny because Overpass typically was a very CT-sided map, you know, much like Cash initially and Mirage. But teams these days are really changing the dynamic because of their strategic prowess and their execution. Here comes the challenge onto Long, potentially, maybe a little bit delayed. 2 players there for Dignitas. And NiP kind of splitting into the A side of the map. Not necessarily committing to the A push, but at least clearing it at the early stages.
I like this position from Kirby. It's a bit unusual compared to the normal positions, but will NiP be on their trade game? Rubino will run distraction actually. MSL getting taken down. Kirby hunting around the corner, finally finding it. And there will be no answer, just getting around the corner in time. Although, ooh, he will be tagged as he makes his way to the site, so smart play by whoever was firing the gun there. But there we go, Dignitas managed to escape with the man advantage. Just under 50 seconds on the clock now for NiP to do what they can with 3 players, one of which is over towards Long.
And that was the play there for Dignitas. That's what they wanted to do, to thin out the push before it gets to them, force maybe more nade usage from NiP so they can't do what they want, which is to execute onto the bomb site, to run a set piece. Instead they have to make do with what they have and push in by force. Here we have the grenades now sailing over the top, and the attempt of the plant shall be made. But there should be a rotation in play now, and a flank indeed. I believe it's Config coming up the back. There he is. He is a huge danger right now. In fact, Config could just win the round for his team. Although that said, Kirby takes down Forest, leaving things in the hands, the capable hands. Get right, take down the first player, but his damage, the damage he sustained is rather severe. 6 HP to him. There's more or less nothing that he can get done here. There's either go in and die or save the gun, and he's going to go and save the gun. As the defuse is won by Dignitas, but they did lose 3 players there, so it was an expensive round for Dignitas, but they will hold on to the AWP, and hopefully for them, they're able to stop these unrelenting buys from NiP sooner rather than later.
Well, let's see, 5 AKs on the Swedish team. Moving over towards B with numbers, and it seems that, yeah, they were setting up for a fast play here. Some of the players were lagging behind. I was wondering what they were doing. So this is almost an MSL-esque execute onto the sites, no less. But it's going to be the MSL sides to start getting the frags. So 10 teams, take down and get right. Put the smoke down. Conflict caught in no man's land here. And NiP are fighting back with the frags, but it's still a man advantage for Dignitas.
Yeah, absolute chaos is expected on the B site. A 3 versus 2. Actually, this is pretty even, the situation, due to the fact that it's very easy to retake this site. And it's quite difficult for the Ts. The advantage they have is the bomb is ticking away. That forces the CTs to move. And you can see Exist and Pit both playing the same position. This is quite good, but that Molotov is going to cause issues here. It forces them to go for the engagement. Both players spotted. The defuse can be tapped here. Exist, as he runs through the flames, he pretty much has to go for the kill on the diffuser. And Ruben is holding the angle. Perfectly played there from Rubino and from Kirby to win the round at the end right there. So very nice. And that's going to be the 2-5. So they'll string they'll string 2 rounds together. Now it's down to NiP after the bomb plant and the extra bonus money to win this round, which they were able to do on Dust 2. To prevent themselves from going to Eco City.
Well, looks like Dignitas are going to turn things up. You often have that smoke thrown just above the barrel onto the stairs. It's unless you have a scoped weapon, you basically can't see AWPer standing above it like Rubino. You get shot and you'll have no idea what is going on. So if you see that smoke, then B very weary indeed. You're probably going to get orbs. Bit of a basic Molotov flashbang actually coming out, and Kiabi will do great, easily avoiding it, getting a frag. No answer from the second player. It's a bit of an awkward angle to face. Kiabi could even get a second one here if they choose to push, but no, he's going to move back. Again, just playing the advantage, as it is a 4 versus 3 at the moment. Definitely don't want to lose another CT early, because there's over a minute on the clock here.
Yeah, and it slows down a little bit. You can see Pit moving forwards slowly but surely. And the CT's just holding their ground, holding their advantage. And NiP do have some time to use, to play with, to try to see if they can catch somebody. But now they realize they need to start to move and bring themselves closer to the A side. Rubino is very key in this position, of course. If he picks up the first kill before any trade is possible, then that's pretty much the GG in this round right there. And there is a flank coming as well. And there is the flick. And with the flank on its way, there's surely no chance for NiP to make this work. I don't see how it can happen here, but Get Right will pick off Rubino. Now he's alone because the flanker in Kirby is going to be good. And now Kirby can just stay alive there and constantly create threats for Get Right of this flank. Does Get Right pull this one off altogether? He won't. Tensky picks up the frag in the end, and it will be the 3-5. So Dignitas, they've strung more than a couple rounds together, James. They've strung 3 together, and they've actually... NiP can actually buy here. They can still buy, James. I actually thought they wouldn't be able to buy that.
So did I, Dan, but that's...
Garrett had $7,100.
Yeah, he had, I think, 48.50 or something along those lines in the previous round. You can see Pitt's gone for the scout there. Comes to scout over the MP7. Oh, let's see what they can do with it. Yeah, scout's viable. Basically, everywhere you approach her, you can pick off a few shots there. Even on short B, so if the angles prove favourable, some jumping shenanigans as well. Off towards higher. Well, one man down already for both sides. Minute 20 on the clock, and the NiP are creeping through to long A, which, this timing actually could absolutely ruin Dignitas. I do wonder, though, if they're going to give it away with some grenades, and it seems they are. Kiabi's realised what's going on here, and now the Dignitas players are a bit trapped between a rock and a hard-body Swedish man. But now it's turning around because Dignitas are rotating through the stairs, so NiP find themselves trapped while they're trapping the CTs. It's all going to get very weird.
Oh yeah, and already Forrest catches MSL by the side, so it starts to get worse and worse. Oh, the headshot from Pit. And config now against 4 players. It's really looking like it's going to be too easy here. One is down. He's still got full HP. There's the pop flash, but he really doesn't have time to play with, or at this point even ahead. So Exist with the frag at the end, and NiP claim around finally straight back. And that is very frustrating because Dignitas were just about to force them to eco one.
And guess who's ecoing now, Dad?
Indeed, it's Dignitas. Actually, because NiP had lost 3 rounds, right, before having to eco, even assuming they did lose that round, right, then there was a defuse, they would still have had, let's see...
24?
They would have had 3,200 with the bomb, so they could have actually they could have done a number of things. A quasi-buy, they could have done a force execute. There's lots of stuff they could even have still done, but here's a quick walk-in as an anti-eco into the blue side. There's lots of teams that have started to do this on the anti-eco, so it's quite an effective round actually. Just to walk, not give any signs that you're coming, and just have the trade frag set up quickly. It's very hard because let's say a CT was there to punish them, right, close range, when they're all lined up in Monster. There's no real, it's very unlikely for them to have a pistol that's going to basically mow down a bunch of players. Like, you have to get really lucky to do that. So it's pretty nice to not announce your presence there, and they go 7-3.
Well, Dig back on the buy, no AWP, but they've got lots of utility in terms of grenades at least. No kits onto any of the players. We'll see if that plays a part later on. Got the Molotovs going into short to help the B control come in for the Ts. I tried to copy the way that Angel does it. That does that on Hellraisers, which I think I did it once in about 30 tries. So curious to see how NiP get it done. You can see there is aggression from the CTs with respect to their hold towards the toilets. But again, having no control over short B is quite a problem for the CTs. As this round goes on, it will continue. So MSL and Rubino with that aggressive hold upstairs. They will go 2 for 1. They'll sit on that again, a 4 versus 3 in favour of Dignitas. But it's still 4 rounds behind here, so it might not be enough for them.
Oh yeah, and there's still a good chance here for NiP. They have a 3 versus 4, but of course, you know, the CTs can't all be exactly where NiP is, so they actually get a favourable situation. The numbers, they get 2 entries as well. So now things looking absolutely horrendous here for Dignitas. Abhorrent, in fact, to use your favourite word, Jace. And here it is. The bomb should be going down. The smoke can cover the plant. Get Right can punish them if they try to actually push past this. You can see he's going for it right now, and he's going to actually catch both players. There's number 1. Spray comes in from the Get Right, but it'll be ECS to pick up the kill, and there is the 8-3. This is already looking actually more one-sided than Dust 2 did, and you can see how important it is for Dignitas to start T-side and to get that pistol on the T-side, to get their rounds going, because they just don't have as good of a time of it on the CT side. That said, it did appear that NiP, again, are quite similar as a team in that way on Overpass as well.
Yeah, you can see the money for the NiP team is starting to fly up once again. So we've got the flashbang over, but not the Molotov, which might be a bit of a clue. But again, Dignitas on the eco, so it's probably not going to matter, unfortunately, to them. Trade will come in, though, but can't expect that many more trades to occur. Because you're actually getting a frag onto Forest. But again, it's just a bare minimum done by Dignitas here. Well, 2 kills are pretty good, but it's 9-3. At this point, I don't think the kills really matter so much. It's just about the round wins, pure and simple. Rubino going for the big green gun on this round. The loss bonus increases, and so will the cost for the CT side, but we will have the cost of the round. That is to be found out. So Rubino going aggressive, but no smoke coming in here. He wants them to face. Again, when that smoke is down, it's better to just avoid a whole passive angles or get some HEs over them if you have that. Over there if you have them. Kelby spotting a player over towards short B, but will there be a push from the CTs? Tensky getting taken down. Actually, towards short B, there are 2 more CTs there. But it's not looking good.
Yeah, 5 versus 3. Again, Dignitas off to a poor start with their aggressions. And again, they have to take you. This is why Overpass CT side is interesting, because you kind of have to take some risks. And Rubino is doing that again. He's going to try to capitalize here. He knows he can't just let them sit with that advantage and hit them on a site. He's got to get kills here. And he's going for it, but he's so close with these shots, but he cannot connect a second or a third. And that's going to be another round for NiP. It should be, at least. As I would expect Dignitas to even think about saving these guns at this point, but Config looked like he wanted to go for it initially. Kirby is going to get hunted down. And now it's just Config left alive, but not for long. And 10-3 indeed. NiP with a very strong showing on their T side. This is expected, to be honest. We did expect this. We all expected this, James. Or at least I expected this.
Well, perhaps we are witnessing some sweet revenge from Malmodan on home territory as well. Getting bodied on Overpass. Maybe they're angry. Just maybe.
Yeah, Overpass is usually one of the good go-tos for Dignitas. That's absolutely for sure.
Well, 2 rounds left in the first half. We will see who can take the final rounds here. Again, the limitations for Dignitas just increased. Rubino the CZ, Config the MP9, 3 FAMASs, and again the forward positions. Monster's been abandoned. We've got 2 guys on short B as well. So Dignitas trying to hold all the important choke points.
The impotent. They're impotent, Jace. All of them.
They're trying to hold the impotence there. Oh dear, I need more sleep.
What about the importance, James?
Dan, there's
Okay.
a flank going to occur once said smoke has disappeared. Got one up, one down as well, which used to be a football game we used to play, but now we're in Counter-Strike. The CZ has gone down. Kiabi's coming in from the back. Get that will be spotted. I like he goes to burst fire there. And Freiberg is on the hunt. Freiberg is blind. Freiberg has little HP. Oh, he's missed him. He's not there. There he is. There he is. He's gone down. So there's a man advantage for NiP despite Freiberg going down. Tensky, though, seems to have spotted exist, but he's got inferior weaponry, Dan, and he will pay for it with his life.
His life is forfeit indeed. And again, it's a situation where Kelly just can't really do anything. I mean, he's in 1 versus 3. He's got a flank coming in, and he's got his knife out, switching guns. Has no idea Pitt's there, and that is the kill. Pitt's finisher, an 11-3. This is like, it could be a very fast one. Absolutely. The thing is, again, I made the point earlier, NiP in some respects is kind of like what Dignitas want to be, and what the way that MSL's always tried to, try to lead his teams. But it's like playing yourself, but yourself from when he was like 8 years old. He's smaller, he's physically inferior, and he's less experienced.
Bloody hell, Dad.
But he thinks the same.
At least there's that.
And one day he will maybe rise to a world glory in time. But it can be hard to contest with the pedigree of some of these NiP players.
What you're saying is he has the muscles of an infant.
I don't know. Let's try not to really go too much further with that analogy.
You're that infant.
But yeah, Dignitas with the same weaknesses as NiP. And so far, it's just another slow one from NiP, trying to bait out yet more aggression. This is the thing, like, Dignitas realize that they can't just let NiP walk up to the bomb sites. They can't just play passively. Just playing passively allows the T's to dictate the round too much. If you give that situation, they know how powerful it is when they have it, so they're sure as hell not going to give it up too easily to NiP. But it's very hard when you've got inferior weaponry right now, and NiP are really just hitting all their shots. We will get a trade there. Again, the trade is not such a great situation for the CTs. They have spotted the bomb there as well, and they've committed to the rotation. So at least here, it's all hands on deck for the A defense.
Executes coming in here. Again, Dignitas playing close to the smokes, not looking out for Rubino. Freiburg is wrecking Dignitas today on both maps, getting lots of entries. Let's see if Tensky can hold these down. Potential two-man spray down coming in, but it'll be just the one instantly traded by Exist. So it's Exist turn to top the scoreboard here. Pit not far behind. Great half from NiP. 12-3. I want to say that we saw this score recently on Overpass. 12, I mean, back in the day we used to see 12-3 CT halves, but I think we've seen two 12-3s on the T half recently, which is not easy to do. It's quite impressive.
Yeah, it tells you a lot about how the game has been evolving, because out of the maps that's quite CT-sided, the only one that really still exists that way now these days, I would say, is Mirage. But then I would say that it's actually a bit closer to Inferno in how it's economy dependent, quite economy dependent. So if you can get a good economy, it can be quite CT-sided if you can play those expensive setups. Similar to Inferno, but it switches if the T's get more options because you have lower economy. But yeah, everything is kind of going a little bit more T-sided these days as teams get better at strategy and so on. But we'll have to see how the pistol goes, if anything can be salvaged here by the Danes, or if the Swedes will continue to reign superior, James.
Well, first frag goes to Pit, but a bunch of his players have taken some damage here. So there's opportunity in various ways for Dignitas, but that's not a good spot. Forest is on the site, and Forest with a pistol is not a good sign for your team. Tensky and Kiabi remain. Make that just Tensky here. These USPSs coming in and causing serious damage. That range advantage is all too real. So triple the headshot range of Glocks. Boom, there goes another one with the P2000. Same stats for that.
They have the Forest advantage, James.
They have the Forest advantage.
That Forest is on their team, and he is.
What is that thing with the trees in the forest? I can't see forest from the trees.
Yeah.
Doesn't really apply on the concrete jungle then, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Do you know what it means? Do you know that idiom actually?
Of course I do, yes.
Okay,
yes.
right.
But I wanted to make it work.
Okay.
But I failed then.
You failed us.
I failed.
It's
okay to fail.
We're used to that.
Oh, wow.
So we have NiP now with a significant advantage, looking like they're going to basically go and do exactly what they did in the group stages in the same manner. And that was a really nice nade there. If there was no Kevlar on Kebby, he would actually have just died, I think. Or would have been very, very, very close, like on 2 HP. But
now we see the force coming out from Dignitas, if you didn't mention it. I mean, just because,
got no
obviously,
choice.
Exactly, yeah, they have no choice now.
And no bomb down as well. So
their choices have been taken away, Dan. They've been taken away.
MSL's going to get shot in the face. No! Oh! Gets abused there. MSL opening things up a little bit. But can he deal with the kind of worms that's been unleashed? Looks like they can. very low, these players, so there's definitely a chance here for Freiburg and Exist to do something, especially if they're caught unawares like that, and that was one of the healthier players. So there's Exist. If he gets, you know, a quick one shot, they can get some trades without losing much health in the first couple of engagements. They will be fine here to try to retake this. They have to get from Freiburg as well. The spray comes in from Freiburg. There's that one player on the truck on Optimus, Kirby, is caused way too much concern, way too much issue, and we'll find the 13th force. Dignitas will actually win off the force bite, and NiP, they must force by now, James.
There is a chance that Dignitas could, I mean, 13 rounds is a lot of rounds, obviously. But there's a chance that Dignitas could put up a reasonable comeback attempt here. Again, we saw that running execute from NiP. I was looking on the minimap and I saw that two players, I want to say Forest and Exist maybe, were lining up some grenades behind their team, which kind of gave the game away for me. But obviously MSL's his side was the first side that I saw doing running executes into the B bomb site here, so we know that Dignitas have the strats. Moving over towards the A sites now. I'm expecting to see a bomb plot here. This is an eco from the CT side. Freiburg picked up the Nova, which I'm always happy to see. Other than that, just
yeah, I mean, very, very, very typically, almost probably like 90% of cases, probably more, probably like 95% of the time, when a team loses, they win the first round, then they lose to a force buy, you will see them force buying right back, because they have to eco twice anyway. That's the situation you're in. But not only are you in that situation, you're in a situation where if you win that round with that force buy, it's likely that the opponents don't have great weapons. They probably just have your SMGs that they picked up. Plus, you will reset them as well if you win that round, and you have a decent chance. So that's usually why you see it. But NiP deciding to go very economically because they just want to get the most, they want to maximize their buy rounds games, and that's how Threat has always thought. Maximize the amount of buy rounds you have when you're in a winning position. And that's what they're going to have. And I really want to, I bet there is an amazing statistic out there somewhere that would show that NiP have the most buy rounds of any professional team across all their matches. It just surely must be the case. Because not only do they save the most money on the T side, on the CT side they play for the most buy rounds that they can as well, typically.
yeah, and if they continue to lose, then they're basically going to be at max buy. Max loss bonus, if they buy eco buy, then they'll be at max buy every time as well.
And look at that buy. That's a pretty respectable buy, and they only need 3 rounds. So.
And yeah, and they still have 7-round lead, so lots to be done there. I'm still hating that grenades coming through. That bounces back onto the CT side of Monster. Ooh, that nade is meaty down. That is like a full-length subway.
Why don't you tell Thread about it? You got his Skype info. You should tell him. This nade sucks. Change it now.
Pay me.
Pay me.
Yeah, man.
To optimize.
I can be hire me as odd job assistant for Threat, and then I think I've talked to him about it already, actually.
Yeah, I was on the server with you. That was actually when we were helping him out before Columbus. But we've got Dig now going for the push here, trying to salvage the situation. Brilliant defense early in the round here from NiP, and it was the kind of defense that Dignitas would have liked to have posted themselves in the early phases of their CT side. But Dignitas are going to lose immediately, James, and that's a really big deal because they won't even string anything together really. And due to that fact, they won't really have any money. They'll have no loss bonus again. They'll lose this and they'll get $1,400. They can't have much money left. They had 1 round where they won fairly cleanly, so there should be 1 buy left for them. Okay, actually they have more than 1 buy, so I misread that in my mental economy tracker.
Well, it depends on how many people survive the rounds, ultimately.
Yeah. Oh right, yeah. They picked up a lot of SMGs, didn't they?
They had,
and they got a lot of kills with the SMGs.
They had 9 people survive in 2 rounds.
Yeah.
Which means money. Which I wonder if that's a calculation people do. Like they had 12 people survive in 2 rounds, basically.
Wow.
That's fantastic. Speaking of fantastic, again, there was someone was scoped there. I guess it was Config. I haven't actually tested the smoke with a scope, but I know without a scope, you're not seeing anything. You're just going to get wrecked. It's that simple. But the problem is, people aren't always hiding behind it. But when they are, boom.
Yeah, that's a fallen clear shot right there. Just in and just immediately you're dead. And you can see that's really a problem here for Dignitas, because they didn't gain anything from that. It's just an untradeable frag, and you're just down to a disadvantage immediately. And then you have to take bigger risks to get back in it. And we'll see a pretty big risk here from Rubino, perhaps, as he moves to push in. Maybe he'll go past the nade. That actually wasn't deep enough, so it's a good flashbang from Exist. And boom! Straight out there, sidestep, and an immediate takedown of Exist. And Rubino can't get anything else done, but what he has done is brought his team onto the bomb site. So really nicely done. That one frag here onto Exist made all the difference. Now it's a winnable round. Dignitas, all of a sudden, NiP are in a little bit of trouble. They need to win this, otherwise they can't buy. So they're a little bit stressed out about that. So good, big, nice close range with the AWP. Why not? And it's just Forest left with Pit. Now, Pit gets the initial frag. Down to Tensky. Oh, he can't get it done. And that was such a good opportunity for Dignitas. You got to feel like maybe that was their best shot.
Well, everything's getting a lot worse. 9 rounds ahead now are the Swedish team on match points, as it said on the screen. It's good to take it to the 2-0 for NiP. The P90 coming out for Tensky. P90 on a T side of Overpass. That is when things are bad. We'll see if we can get anything done with it. There are 4 AKs as well. And again, there are loads of nades. I don't know the last time I saw the actual running execute onto B from an MSL team. Always got to keep things fresh, of course. 4 players up top for the T side, and Tensky will join in for a brief moment. I mean, that's P90 could be powerful around short B if he can get in there. But they're losing players already towards A. Forest with 2 frags, then finally getting traded. Pit to take down MSL as well. So it's Rubino and Tensky versus 4. Just holding over towards B. The 2 players, not really sure, certain where they might be going. They are headed towards A for the time being, where Pit is getting taken down. There we go, Tensky disappearing, leaving Rubino alone. And he will get finished off. And such will be the day. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, the 16-6 finish there for NiP. I mean, it's a strong finish to the series for them. I mean, they finished it as they started. They had a strong start, 16-7 result. This time they didn't win both pistol rounds, I don't believe. Or did they? No. Yes, they did, because they got reset immediately.
Yep.
So they actually won 4 pistol rounds. So again, you got to give a little bit of credit to Dignitas that the scoreline was somewhat inflated by this. I think on Overpass, definitely we saw a pretty strong CT side from NiP. You really saw that how well they can do with the big buy. And but on the T side, we saw some some great stuff here and there from Dignitas, but otherwise it was too much lacking. If they didn't get that T side start, if they didn't get the pistol round victory and the good start, they really seem to suffer. And but otherwise, the stuff that I've seen from Dignitas lately, they excite me as a team. I can be excited for Dignitas, which is good news. And it's great to see the continued success of NiP and how disciplined they are. It is very refreshing to see that level of discipline, and I want to see more of that in more teams.
Well, our second match of the day is going to be NiP versus Astralis. That is in a little over an hour and 50 minutes, since this was a 2-0, so we will be on a break. But again, we will come back a bit later on with the second game. We will see you then.